Welcome back after this break. I have with me Latha Menon, and now we're going to speak on some very, very interesting topics. Latha, you are so beautiful, but I'm sure during your work, you're surrounded by these pretty actors and models. So, have you ever felt insufficient or ever felt that, oh my God, they're so gorgeous? Or have you just let your own say by your work?
Yeah, I would agree with the last line you said. It's because it's work. I look at them in admiration for the character they're playing and the cast they're playing. But no, I don't go beyond and make me feel insecure.
So you never
anything.
felt insecure.
No,
you never said, "Oh my God, she's got gorgeous hair and she's got lovely skin." And
we admire it. We compliment them, and of course, we have to make them feel good because they have to give us the best shot, right? So I have to make the environment conducive. Right. To make them happy, because actors are always in self-doubt,
right.
And are they giving the good take? So I have to make them feel confident. I have to make them feel comfortable. That is the thing. The set has to be comfortable for them to give their best shot.
Right.
So and you can't bring in your personal anxieties around that to topple the whole balance.
Right.
So that is the key to.
So you, no matter how the situation is, you're always comfortable in your skin.
Yeah, I'm always comfortable in my skin, and I'm always trying to make the actors also comfortable in their skin, and all the other members who are, in the team.
Right.
Make each person feel.
That's very important.
Important, yeah.
That's very important. Latha, you do a lot of social work. I know about your motto of giving back to the society. How important it is to give back?
See, I think everything is interconnected. I think it's only if you have that streak of empathy, are you able to also do good work? It is. The thing of giving back to humanity in terms of your work as well, the kind of work that you do, it extends to monetary giving back, but I think in terms of your values, in terms of your ethics, all that I think go hand in hand with your the other thing that you give back. So in the kind of films that you make, and you can do many films for different causes. That's also another way of giving back, where you really don't. You do mostly pro bono for different causes, like you're talking about an issue like adoption, or you're talking about child abuse. So you work along with organizations like that also, apart from your other capacities that you can hand back to society. Right. The way you live and the way you you do and hope well for the community, I think is very important.
That's very important, especially when you reached there, when in your perspective that this is your success, it's time that you have to give back to society.
No, I think as you learn and you go along the line also, because we keep experiencing and we keep meeting. When you keep traveling and moving around, you keep going through different experiences, and that teaches you how do you integrate these things into the fabric of your life as well, and do as much as you can in your own little way.
Latha, in your field also, there's so much of, we hear and read about depression. We hear wonderful actors dying of depression. I mean, they're so sad. But then exterior-wise, they look so happy, so jovial. And, you actually envy them. They've got lovely houses, they're rich, they're famous, they've got fancy cars. But then, when you go into the details, you realize that this person was depressed. And these are people who everyone aspires to become. They want to become famous. You read about Deepika Padukone. She has beauty, she's got brain, she's famous, she's rich, she's everything that anyone desires to be. But then she wakes up one morning depressed. And the beauty is that she addresses it. But there are not too many people who address it. They fall prey to it, and then they also commit suicide. So what is your take on depression?
Yeah. It's been an age-old thing, creativity and depression seem to be going hand in hand. And earlier, nobody understood, like Vincent van Gogh, the great artist who used to be a great prolific painter. He was also depressed, but there was no really support network for them, and nobody understood it. See, it's something which is all internal, no? It's not like diabetes or something else where you're physically seeing a change. It is all internal. So people they're not able to understand it, or they're not able to fathom what is going through with the person. Now there are groups, people are coming out, but even a person like Robin Williams, he was suffering from dementia, and he couldn't come to terms with what was happening to him. Though he had the best medical treatment available to him, he had no dearth of monetary thing, but it just consumed him. So it's a challenging field because you go through a lot of humiliation in our field, and so more so for actors because they are the exposed. You know, we are the viewers, we are behind the scenes, but they are the exposed. They are the ones who are vulnerable and coming and, you know, revealing it all in front of the camera. So they're a little more sensitive and they need a little more care. They have to be treated with real delicate and, you know, kid gloves. But and the rejections and the humiliations someday get to you, and sometimes they're not able to cope. But a great supportive network and people who understand and care for you is the way. And if you are able to recognize what you're going through, like how Deepika did, you know, addressed it and coming out public with it is a great thing, because it at least guides people also to do the same. If they feel and they recognize they're not okay, it's okay to not feel okay, come out with it and treat it.
Especially if a child is depressed, it's very important for the mother or the teacher to recognize it and immediately deal with it, rather than, you know, taking it in the negative manner and making the child worse.
Because you think it's a social stigma, right? That's what most people think it is, but it is an illness like any other, and you've got to address it. You've got to address it. And children, when they're showing signs of it, I think it's very important to immediately help them get out of it.
Very important. So that's a very, very strong message, that do not be scared of depression and do not be ashamed of depression. Deal it before it gets too late. That's very important. And Latha, what are your strengths and maybe your weaknesses?
My strengths are possibly my patience, then my ability to get along with most people. I think I get along and I enjoy meeting people, and I generally enjoy a lot of music. I enjoy film. I love creating. Possibly my negative things, or my not negative things, but things that I have to work on, is I tend to delay. I tend to procrastinate. So if I, you know, like, so I need to have a target. I need deadlines. I need to, so those are my, you know, why I sometimes don't get things done, or you know, I just let go of things, which I have to work on.
So what would be your message maybe to a budding entrepreneur, budding entrepreneur, and B, someone who wants to be as creative as you, but then doesn't seem to get a break? So how long does that person need to wait? Because your field is totally creative. So what I'm trying to say is, you're passionate about something, and you're actually so passionate about it, though you're holding a job, maybe a 9 to 6 job, and it's a necessity because that kind of puts food on your table, but then you're not really passionate about it. You really want to de-link from your present job, do something which you're so passionate about, but how long do you wait out? So what would be your advice?
So if you particularly like a field, like suppose you like to become a photographer, you know, a lot of people enjoy being photographers or in writing. You've got to start reading, or you've got to start seeing how a visual is taken. You've got to practice a bit in the field, and then understand if you have a flair for it. See, all of us have a flair for something. You know, most of us have an inbuilt flair, which is possibly asleep, which you've not awakened. So recognize that flair, and then go in that line where you get prepared for it. You know, you've got to read about it. You've got to spend some dedicated time to improve that flair, and then you have to start saying, okay, every day now I'm going to start doing a little about it. Like if you like writing, you have to write a little bit every day, you know, and then read. They always say that the muse is always there, but it doesn't know when inspiration strikes, but your muse is always sitting there in a chair in the corner, but it has to find you working.
Interesting.
You know, that's the line they say, you know, the muse is sitting there in the corner, but it has to find you working. Inspiration is not the only thing that is going to get you. Suddenly today, I'm inspired, I feel like writing. You can't do that. You have to work every day. You have to write every day. You want to take pictures, you've got to see a picture every day, or you've got to take a picture every day. You've got to be at it. You know, it sounds like okay, it's easy, but consciously you have to make that effort.
Because so you've been a corporate and you stepped out because I think you weren't passionate about that, and you're doing something which you're totally passionate about.
And also to be, you know, because it's different in a corporate and all that. You have the timings and people start telling you something which sometimes it doesn't come to your wavelength, and you're in a slightly different zone. So it helps sometimes for people like us to be working on our own, but it's tough also because sometimes you have no work. So how do you cope with periods of no work? How do you keep your mind active? You know, these are times how do you stay self-motivated? That's the key.
And you do it.
Yeah, try to do it.
But I think you're doing a great job at that, because I think you're one of the sought after advertisement makers. Thank you, Latha, for coming to my show.
Pleasure.
And going to see a lot of movies of yours.